Starting off inside of the Autodesk Vault web client, we're going to run a search for a particular file, and this is going to be the overall roller coaster design. Looking at the 3D model, we see that we have an issue with track engagement, so we're going to open up Autodesk Design Review, and we're going to message this directly with a 3D markup. So we're going to save this off and save this to a location where we can import this into the Vault. So let's log in as the supervisor who actually found the issue. From within Vault, we're going to create a folder called Markups. We're going to drop this markup directly inside of the Vault to communicate the issue that we have. So now that the file is inside of Vault, we can go and select on it and preview it, and anybody that is inside of Vault can actually see this particular drawing issue. Next, we're going to go and create a change order as Sam's supervisor and fill in all of the appropriate fields inside of the change order. Remember, anybody can create a change order, identifying, in this case, the markup or any other supporting documents, filling out the fields. Some of these can be wildcard fields, some of these can be list drop-downs. We want to capture all of the information within one interface. So we're going to go and simply attach that markup file, the 3D markup file, and that's all we really need to do for now, is to show that 3D markup. And now when Mike Manager logs in, he sees that there's an ECO in his work list. And right now it's in the create state. And let's go and examine and interrogate that particular file. So taking a look at the file, we can see the markup. We can see that we have a number of people that we can send this to. So Mike is going to go ahead and move this up into the open state. So with a right click, we're going to actually submit this because this does need to be worked on. So in submitting it to the open state, we're going to actually go and say that we are going to work on it. So let's take a look at the files that are part of this. So first of all, it's the overall assembly. So let's go and create this and add this to the change order. Coming to the records, I see the overall assembly, but what else? There's other files that need to go along with it. So we're going to take the files that might be the issue, specifically the vehicle assembly, but then what files underneath it. So from the change order, we can actually add other either dependents or parents to this particular design and make sure that everything is captured within this change order for auditing and tracking purposes. So now when we go and take a look at all the other files, we have a nice DWF preview with which we can start to mark up even further than the 3D markup that we had. We're going to create a 2D markup, and this is going to be especially powerful for inside of Inventor, being able to load this in and overlay it on top of the Inventor drawing. The next person in the list, the responsible engineer, is Dave Designer. He's going to actually be doing the CAD work, but in order for him to know about that, we need to submit it. We actually need to submit it to that work state. So Mike's going to take one other step, and we're going to actually go in and create a project. We're going to create a new redesign project, and this is going to collect all of the pertinent data that needs to go with this particular design. So from within the ECO, we're going to go and copy all of these records, copy all these files, come over here to the redesign, and we're going to paste in a link. Think a shortcut to all of these. And this is nice because we can have everything here as part of one common project, one place to look, and we don't have to navigate all throughout the Vault. So not only can we paste in the link to the files, but we can paste in the link to the ECO and to any other particular information that we need to add. In this case, the DWF 3D markup. We can also take that, copy those in, copy those, paste as a link inside of this project. What we're about to see is the entire Bogey redesign project is now going to have all the files necessary inside of it in one place for somebody like Dave Designer to go and look. So as Dave logs into Vault, his work list shows that ECO. taking a look at the work that needs to be done. He sees that he is in fact the responsible engineer, and it's in the work state, so it's about time to get to work. So one of the first things he'll do is take a look at the DWF and the work that needs to be done. Dave can see per the markup that we're going to need to go and check out that DWF so we can open it up in Inventor. Once Dave's logged into Inventor, he's actually going to open up that markup first. We're going to target that DWF markup, and upon opening that, it's going to pull in the Inventor drawing along with it. So the markups that were created by Mike Manager inside of the ECO are actually showing up directly here inside of Inventor. Next, we're going to take that vehicle assembly and go and start making some modifications. But in order to know specifically what to modify, we're going to leverage some visual data management. This is going to allow us to paint a property. Those files inside a vault, some of them are under a change order and some of them aren't. Using the data mapping, we're able to go in and isolate and quarantine out specifically the files that we need to work with. We don't need to check out the entire assembly. We only need a focused view. So we'll add these to the selection set, and that allows us to go and check these out and continue to work on them. So next, let's actually open up that drawing, and we're going to go down and address the specific issue, which was the vehicle engagement. This is going to lead us down into a base sketch. So the lowest level component is actually this skeletal model where we're going to go in and modify a value, and this will have a ripple effect on the entire assembly. Coming back up the tree, we can see that along the way we've made a change to that skeletal model, and let's go back up the tree, and we're going to save our changes, move all the way back up, and finally we need to do a global update and validate that the vehicle is actually engaged 100% on the track. So when we're done, we'll check in, we'll create a DWF, we'll have the job server take care of this, and the DWF is going to allow, again, the people downstream, like through the web client, to be able to see the changes have been made. Back to the top level drawing, let's go and say that we'll mark this markup done or complete, close the markup, and save everything back inside of the vault. One last thing, let's go and capture the revision history and the revision changes by putting in the revision table, and this is going to pull data directly from the vault. So the rev table, the title block, and the vault are now all going to be in sync when we go and look at the print. When we're done, we'll check everything back in, and the work of Dave Designer is finished. So Dave can log back into Vault, go over to that ECO that's still in his work list, and we'll notice that the project actually has a property on it for percentage complete. So we can go and see that Dave's going to call this 60% complete. So along the way, people can update properties and change and modify properties that are part of the change order, part of the project. So finally, coming back in, we see that the drawing has been updated. The track, the vehicle is riding on the track appropriately, and we even have our revision table visible in the upper left-hand corner. The next step is to submit this for checking. So the work of Dave is done. He can't check his own work, so he actually needs to save it off and have somebody else come in and validate his work. So Mike Manager to the rescue. Mike's going to go in, view the change order, look at the files, and validate that all of the settings, validate that all the geometry is correct. At this point, Mike's going to just go in and approve that and move this forward inside of the ECO process. Finally, we're going to go back in, change the lifecycle state, and move these files up to a release state and move forward with closing out the change order. And the last step to change this out is to set the effective date. We're going to set that to be immediate, and the change order is closed.